Chico Arts and Culture Foundation member Jennifer Parks here, bringing you another Friday Art Feature. Today I am at the City Building in Chico at East 4th Street and Wall Street, and I'm going to be joined today by my fellow board members Monica McDaniel and Mary Gardner, and we are going to be talking today about this iconic piece of public art behind me known as Our Hands. Good morning, ladies. Monica, why don't you get us started by telling us a little bit more about Our Hands?
Great, thanks, Jen. We're here with Mary Gardner and Monica McDaniel. We're both members of the Chico Arts and Culture Foundation. We're both art commissioners for the city of Chico. Thanks for being here, Mary and Jen. This is very exciting. The Our Hands sculpture was put up in the year 2000. The artist is Donna Billick. The style is terrazzo, terrazzo armatures. The features in the Our Hands sculpture reflect values of the members, the citizens of the city of Chico. The hands actually create a caring gesture of taking care of one another and a sense of community. There are features in the Our Hands sculpture that reflect those values, meaning the trees, the houses, and the creek. And there's lots of little details in here that really reflect our community in an amazing way. Mary, can you tell us a little bit more about the Our Hands and the caring gesture and how that came to be for this gateway sculpture that's at our City Hall?
Well, I always love talking about the hands, Monica, I have to say. It was one of our earliest projects, and it came about when we were building a new City Hall, and the City Council decided to set aside a certain percent of the budget for public art, and we did 3 projects with that money. The Hands was the last and most expensive one, I have to say. There was a bit of controversy, or a lot of controversy, depending on our memories here.
Right.
Just because Chico was not used to spending that kind of money, $65,000 on art. And so there was a lot of discussion, a lot of criticism, a lot of worry and concern, and yet in the end it has become such a landmark for the city, and we were so proud of it.
And then that's exactly why we've chosen the Hands for this Friday Art Feature, because they've been here for 20 years now. And in 20 years, what have you seen happen with the Hands? I mean, I know I've seen people take pictures here, but what have you seen?
Oh my gosh, when I was working at City Hall, all day long people would be riding their bikes or walking and making a point of going through the Hands, high-fiving, taking photographs. We had a couple get married in the Hands.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a really, really wonderful project. Really what public art is all about. Creating a destination, a sense of place, community pride.
Yeah, that sense of placemaking again.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And then there are features in it like the creek. Like, tell us about Donna Billick's choices with the terrazzo pieces and the creek elements and how that all played out.
Well, terrazzo is such a flexible material, literally, and you can add, it's broken up marble and granite traditionally in concrete, mostly used for floors for thousands of years. But Donna uses it in a little unconventional way, but she's able to add larger elements to it. She started out as a ceramicist, and so she has a lot of facility with ceramics, and she actually went into the creek and got rocks from the creek and embedded them in the sculpture.
So it's like a memorial in front of City Hall in its own way.
Yes.
With using those authentic materials.
And I also love that where City Hall is, 4th Street is actually a gateway entryway into our park. It goes directly into the park, the entryway of the park, and the Hands is one of the welcoming parts of that.
Right, they're very welcoming.
I know.
Another side note too, Jeff Lindsay was hired to create the PG&E screens behind us.
Right, exactly.
And can you tell us about the imagery that's in the screens that matches the Hands?
Yep. He chose to use some of the images on the Hands in the screens as cutouts. They're steel, rusted steel, And you know, as usual with art, once something becomes iconic and embedded in our imaginations, it seems to just blossom and grow and take on a new life of its own. And that has been a very successful complement to the hands.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Anything else that we want to add about the Our Hands sculpture here in front of City Hall before we wrap up?
Well, I really want to wish it happy birthday, of course.
Happy
20
birthday.
years, very exciting.
Yeah.
But also, I just wanted to tell a little story about, because I was the project manager, I was able to go to Davis, where Donna Billick's studio is, and visit and see the process as it unfolded.
Of the hands being built?
Exactly. You know, as part of the contract, you're checking in at different stages, and so there were a number of studio visits, and we got to see the armature. Underneath these hands is a steel armature, and then the terrazzo is actually applied on after.
Okay.
But also getting to be in her studio and see the terrazzo itself as a wet material with the concrete and the broken up pieces of granite and marble was just really interesting and gave such a insight into how the materials work and how it was all going to come together. And also, of course, because these are huge, very, very heavy, there's a whole foundation underneath the concrete. So this was quite a big project in terms of construction, and then having to get city engineers involved, of course, and approvals. It was like a miniature, the planning and building department had to be involved, and we had to submit plans and engineering specifications.
Right.
And that was the first time that the city had done that scale of a project and had to be involved in all those practical ways. So,
Yeah.
of course, I loved that part of my job, and I loved getting to see the behind the scenes with the artists.
Right.
And of course, I wish now we had taken some video because it was really, really fun.
Yeah. Well, and of course, the hand sculpture is also a first to receive maintenance from the city. So it was it blazed the trail for taking care of the city's art collection also.
Isn't that a wonderful metaphor?
Yeah.
The hands as something that is a symbol of taking care of each other, and it was our first maintenance project because we want to take care of our public art. You know, it's an investment in our community.
And of course, that's one of the big focuses of the Chico Arts and Culture Foundation.
It sure is.
Yeah. So, well, Mary Gardner, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, Monica McDaniel, my pleasure. Always good to hang out with you, even at a little distance.
That's
here.
right. And thank you for joining us on this Friday Art Feature.
A big thank you to Monica and Mary for sharing their time and their information with us. And stay tuned, because we have more facts about the Our Hands sculpture coming to you. I am going to be sharing with you 20 facts about the Our Hands sculpture in honor of its 20th anniversary.